How come the company sent us a goddamn robot?
Ash!
What's up?
What was your special order?
Little cheeseburger. All the way with grilled jalapenos, regular drink, and large Cajun fries. But I'm not sharing.
Bullshit.
You don't understand, do you? A Five Guys burger is the perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its customizability.
You admire it.
I admire its purity, unclouded by gimmicks or toys or delusions of being healthy. I'm totally eating it all, so you have my sympathies. Well, it looks like I'm not getting my order anytime soon, so instead of waiting, why don't we make our own food from Alien, the official cookbook. Alien, the official cookbook by Chris Rachel Osland was quite a surprise when I first saw it at the bookstore. Out of all of the blockbuster movie franchises to make a cookbook for, Alien would have been the last one I expected. Because in the Alien movies, it's not about yummy food going in your belly, but more about scary stuff coming out of it. The cookbook greets you with an introductory blurb that tells you about the prominence of food in the Alien movies. It talks about how consumption is a key part of a xenomorph's behavior and life cycle. That's followed up by a cool little section summarizing the different stages of a xenomorph with some interesting yet horrific details about how it behaves in each stage. And if you've seen the movies, you know how nightmarish each stage is. All of this is a fine read and all, but any mention of the lore ends here. The cookbook doesn't really delve deeper into Alien's world. There are no world-building flavored text with the recipes or chapter titles. There are very little mention of locales and characters from the movies. Because of that, you don't really get a sense of the Alien universe and it doesn't feel that immersive. But what it lacks in lore, it makes up for in looks. I have to say I'm really impressed by how committed this cookbook is to making food look like Alien. Not all the recipes have photos, but the ones that do all make an attempt to make the recipe look like an alien egg, facehugger, chestburster, or queen. You'll find no instances of normal looking dishes with a slapped on name, which is honestly a pretty impressive feat. So if you're looking for recipes that will allow you to roleplay and immerse yourself in the Alien universe, this cookbook might not be for you. But if you're looking for fun, out of this world looking food that is recognizably alien, then you'll get a kick out of this. So it's clear that the food looks the part, but what about the taste? I'm gonna make 3 alien dishes to find out. Now you guys already know that I eat a whole lot of different types of food, and as you can guess, my diet isn't the greatest. If you're like me, then you need a good multivitamin to balance things out with high quality nutrients, which brings me to today's sponsor, Ritual. These Ritual Essential for Men multivitamins I'm taking contain 10 high-quality nutrients like vitamin A, D, omega-3, and zinc that are difficult to get from diet alone. It's also comforting for me to know that these don't have any shady additives, fillers, colorants, and are vegan-friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, allergen-free, and contains no added sugar. And are these not the prettiest looking capsules you've ever seen? These delayed release capsules are gentle on an empty stomach, and the bottles even come with this mint tab which makes it smell so good. Why aren't these in every vitamin bottle out there? And they don't just offer vitamins, I'm also using their essential protein shake with 20 grams of plant-based protein per serving with a nice vanilla flavor that's perfect for a post-workout treat. Ritual is giving you 20% off your first month by going to ritual.com/20miso and using the code 20miso at the checkout. It's never too late to start a new ritual and incorporate a healthy habit into your routine. Now, onto the recipe. The first thing we're going to make are these avocado and bacon stuffed deviled alien tea eggs. If deviled alien eggs doesn't sound enticing to you, then I don't know what will. To start, place 12 eggs in a pot of cold water, then bring this to a boil and let it cook for 10 minutes. Then remove the eggs and place them in an ice bath to stop them from cooking. In another pan, add in 2 cups of water along with 2 inches worth of sliced ginger, 2 star anise, 1 cinnamon stick, 2 bay leaves, 4 tablespoons of loose black tea, 1 teaspoon of whole peppercorns, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Let this mixture simmer for 10 minutes, then add in 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, 2 teaspoons of green food coloring, and a cup of ice water and combine everything. Pour this mixture into a container that will fit all the eggs. With the back of a spoon, tap the eggshells to introduce lots of cracks while keeping the overall shell intact, then place all of the eggs in the tea mixture and top it up with water so all of the eggs are submerged. Let these soak in for at least 4 hours, but preferably overnight. When they're ready to hatch, just carefully peel them and you should have a nice spiderweb pattern waiting for you inside. Nice. On to the other stuff. Take 6 slices of bacon and cut them into long, thin strips. These are going to be the tentacles that are going to be coming out of the egg. Fry them up and kind of shape them so that they're wavy and tentacle-like. You can use tongs to adjust the shape as they cook. Any bacon bits that don't look good, you can crumble them up and set aside for later. Now take the eggs and cut an X on top until you hit the yolk. Then carefully open it up and scoop out the yolks inside without ruining the white part, which is a lot harder than it looks. I ended up ruining a lot of these because the white parts are super soft and delicate and I just lack the finesse to handle them. For the egg yolks that you've scooped out, place those in a bowl and add in 3 ripe avocados and mix it all up. Add in 3 tablespoons of lime juice, 3 minced garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Also add in any of the bacon bits you crumbled up in this step. Mix everything together and either spoon it in the egg or pipe it in with a pastry bag, which is what I did. Still, what a struggle this was to fill. I almost broke all of these, but thankfully they held up. I also used some of the avocado mixture as a nest so they can stand up a bit better. Once you got them all filled, add in the bacon tentacles so it looks like they're trying to break out of the egg. Not as nice looking as the cookbook version, but not bad. Next up, we're moving away from the egg and moving on to the chestburster stage with this red pepper quiche. We start with 1 pre-made pie crust, roll it out on a pie plate and blind bake this at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. While we're waiting for that to bake, let's work on the filling. Heat up 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a skillet over medium-high heat, then throw in a half of a yellow onion diced up, 4 minced garlic cloves, and 6 stalks of chopped asparagus. Cook these for 3 minutes. Then add in 10 ounces of fresh spinach, 1 handful at a time, and cook them until they've wilted. Now add in 8 to 10 fresh basil leaves and cook those until they're wilted as well, and remove the veggies from the heat. In a bowl, add in 6 large eggs, 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of fresh ground pepper, and whisk it all together. When the crust is done baking, spread half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese across the base and 1 cup of chopped up roasted red bell peppers. Place in the rest of the veggies and pour in the egg mixture. Bake this in the oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. After that, sprinkle on half a cup of mozzarella cheese and continue baking for another 15 to 20 minutes. While the quiche bakes, poke 3 fat sausages a few times and toss them in the oven with the quiche until the skin crisps up. They'll be ready when the quiche is done. Once done, stick a sausage in the middle of the quiche, cut one of the ends so that it's flat and can help the sausage stand up, then surround the sausage with some extra chopped up roasted red peppers. This will help keep the sausage into place and it's gonna look like blood and guts bursting out. The final step is creating the mouth of the chestburster. Make a slice for the mouth and add in some slivered almonds to make rows of teeth. You can use the remaining 2 sausages by cutting them into coins and arranging them on the base of the quiche to give it a more 3D meaty explosion effect as the cookbook suggested, but I just decided to leave it like this. Looks pretty cool. Now for the final course of our meal, we pay tribute to the final stage of the xenomorph's life cycle, the queen, with this recipe of oven roasted pears with balsamic and honey. For this you'll need 4 firm Bosc pears. Without peeling them, cut them all in half lengthwise, then remove the core on all of them. Make a slice at the bottom of each half as that's going to be used as the opening for the mouth. Then the cookbook states to carve a groove from the stem tip to the middle using a small spoon, but I found the spoon to be very difficult to work with, so I just used a knife to slice the indentation. Next, we're supposed to score the bottom half of the head with diagonal lines that are 1/8 inch apart. I don't really see this on the cookbook's photo, so I'm just guessing on how to draw these. After you've exercised your carving skills, go ahead and warm up a Dutch oven on the stove over medium-high heat for 3 to 4 minutes. Then add in 4 tablespoons of butter and wait for it to melt. When melted, add in the pears with the cut side down and let these cook for 2 to 3 minutes. Now transfer the pot into the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, drizzle some raspberry balsamic vinegar over the pears, then pop them back into the oven for another 5 minutes. When done, remove from the oven and drizzle about a teaspoon of honey on each pear and let it rest for 5 minutes so that they're easy to handle. When ready, remove the pears from the pot and flip them so that the seared side is up. Feel free to shape them so that they look more like the alien queen heads. Then for the mouth, jam in some slivered almonds along the gum line to make their sharp teeth. And finally add a sprig of rosemary to each head with the leaves removed from the stem, leaving only the leaves at the tip. This is supposed to be their creepy little inner mouths. You can also make some red vanilla whipped cream to go along with this, but I like the way it looks like in the book, so I'm leaving it be. Alright, let's join the gang in the mess hall and try out some alien food. Starting off with the deviled alien tea eggs. First, I'm gonna try just the tea egg itself without the filling just to see how it's like. To be honest, it's a lot lighter than I expected. I marinated this for quite a while overnight, so I was expecting the flavor to really seep through, but the flavor is actually quite mild. I think it's because the shells were on, so the brine couldn't really penetrate, but it was necessary for the look, and I gotta admit, they look pretty cool. For the deviled tea egg itself, not bad. The crunch and salty contrast of the bacon goes really well with a soft avocado mixture. The filling tastes good and I like the limey zing, but I think the proportions are a bit off as it's too much filling for the egg, especially if eaten in one bite. I could 2-bite it, but it's so delicate that I'm afraid I'll just make a giant mess. Overall not bad, but I do prefer the size and filling ratio of a classic deviled egg. You'd think I'd get sick from eating alien eggs, but no, I feel oh no.
What's the matter? The food ain't that bad, baby.
Hey, nice to meet you, little guy. What are you doing here? Get back in my belly. Sausage tastes like sausage, but with almonds, which is texturally kind of weird, but hey, it looks cool. Let's dig into the quiche itself. It looks good, smells good, but does it taste good? Aw yeah, that's a pretty solid quiche. The egg is warm and pillowy soft, and the crust is nice and flaky even though it's store-bought. The asparagus, spinach, and basil all give it a great flavor, but the standout is the roasted red pepper. It gives it a nice smoky umami taste that makes the dish in my opinion. Definitely would make this again, but maybe without our Chestburster buddy next time. Lastly, we got a roasted pear alien queen head for dessert. Gonna reverse the roles here, I'll be the one taking a big bite out of her. First bite was not the most pleasant, only because the hardness of the almonds don't really match the soft velvety texture of the pear. I took a bite without the almonds and yeah, much better. I like the sweet and tart combination and the butter makes it nice and rich. I like the look of the almond teeth and they're perfect if you're having an alien themed meal, but it definitely tastes better without it. Final verdict for the ALIEN Cookbook, sick visuals that are fun to devour. Hey, thanks again for watching the video. I tried to get this one out for Halloween, but life just got busy. Special shout out to everyone supporting me on Patreon. I appreciate you and I'm totally crazy for you guys. Cheers.